So you're a pretty good photographer, but now you're asking yourself, what can I buy that would take my photography to the next level? Do I get a camera body, a lens, an SD card, a laptop, more storage, a new monitor? And the correct answer is a new lens. A lens is always gonna have the ability to bring your photos to the next level very quickly. This is why I always recommend people who are buying a new camera setup to always not focus on the body, but to focus on the lens. But now you're gonna ask me, what lens should I get? Well, I'm gonna answer that as well. I would recommend getting something that will eventually capture around the 15mm to 200mm mark. And this is gonna be considered the holy trinity of lenses. There's three lenses that make the holy trinity of lenses. There's a 15 to 25 lens, there's a 20 to 75, and then there's a 75 to 200mm lens. Now, of course, you can't afford all these lenses up front, so you need to make a decision of which one you're gonna get first. You need to figure out what you primarily shoot. For example, if you're a landscape and real estate photographer, I would recommend getting the 15 to 25mm range. That range is gonna vary between Canon, Sony, and all different kinds of lenses, but look for a lens that is in that range. These types of lenses are gonna capture a lot of area. So when you're taking real estate photography or you're taking landscape photography, you're gonna want to capture as much as you can into one image. And that's why you're gonna wanna look at the 15 to 25mm. On top of that, you're gonna wanna get the lowest aperture that you can. The lower the aperture, the more expensive the camera lens is going to be, but the better your photos are gonna come out. A 2.8 aperture lens is going to be very expensive. Now, if you're on a budget, you can look for something like a 3.4 to 4.0 in that range. The next lens you're gonna look at is the 25 to 70mm. This is also a great utility lens because you can capture majority of the things you need to take photos of in everyday life. So this lens is great for street photographers and portrait photographers because it doesn't have a very drastic fisheye, but it still is able to capture a lot of things and bring it in. If you don't exactly have a niche of photography yet and you're still trying to figure that out, I would go with this lens, the 25 to 70mm, because like I said, it's a great utility lens and it can capture just about anything you need to. Lastly is the 70 to 200mm lens. This lens is great for sports photography and nature photography because you don't have to be so close to the object to get photos of it. And again, if possible, I would spend the money to get a lower aperture, like a 2.8, because this is going to have better depth perception in your photos. Again, just to reiterate, you need to decide what niche of photography you shoot to decide whether you want the 15 to 25mm, 20 to 70mm, or the 70 to 200mm. But the end goal is to have that whole focal length covered and you'll be able to shoot anything your heart desires. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this answered the question of what to buy next to add to your arsenal of camera gear. Let me know what you shoot with down below. See you next time.